the infrastructure package. We must pass a surface transportation bill before October 1st of this year. We must. It's been far too long that we've kicked the can down the road, even with the last bill, the FAST Act, and predecessors. We need a much more robust program to deal with our deficient, collapsing infrastructure. This couldn't be happening at a more critical time. I think it's really finally time to go big and bold and to move beyond the Eisenhower era of infrastructure. Essentially, we're working off about Eisenhower 7.0. It's time to move to a 21st century approach, an approach that will create millions of good-paying jobs, restore global competitiveness, unleash our economic potential, make people's lives better, communities safer, more equitable, affordable, livable, and critically, move our country toward clean energy future in concert with the private sector, which is already moving that way, and cut carbon pollution from transportation, which is the single largest contributor to carbon pollution created by the United States of America. Many of these goals have been before us and have been an aspiration of many of us on this committee for years. And last year, it was reflected in the very ambitious Moving Forward Act that we passed in the House, with our section being the INVEST Act, the largest single section of that bill. After fits and starts in Congress and recent administrations, President Obama killed a major surface bill 12 years ago. President Trump held 7 fake infrastructure weeks. It became a bad joke in DC, something like Groundhog Day, I guess. Even though we passed an ambitious bill in the House, the Senate could do nothing but status quo, and it was even hard to get them to status quo. That can't continue. It's not just that we need to modernize what we have and build for the future. We also have to consider that despite recent improvements in the economy, we are still down more than 8 million jobs in the economy, and that's using the defective current measures, which doesn't include discouraged workers and others who would like to have good-paying jobs working on rebuilding the nation's infrastructure, given the proper training. So there's obviously going to be a worker training component to this too. I support the President's American Jobs Plan. Thus far, it's a 25-page outline. We've been in constant communication with the White House and Department of Transportation, receiving suggestions from them on further steps. And now it'll be up to us to put the details in place. A large portion of the plan that will benefit community of all sizes, from major metropolitan areas, mid-sized cities, and rural areas, who have been often left behind in our past attempts at infrastructure and the jobs components that could follow from this. I represent a district in Southwest Oregon where the benefits have not flowed to a very large portion of my district, and they have tremendous infrastructure needs there. Small cities, rural areas have transit needs with communities aging in place. All those things are addressed in this bill. Social equity is addressed in this bill. The President has proposed a new program to deal with the fact that there was intentional design to divide communities of color because there was less resistance or less capability of resisting freeways which divided communities through cities in those communities. Now that infrastructure is aging out. He pointed out one in his address, which is in New Orleans. It's a skyway. It's going to fall down soon. We got to replace it. It could be replaced in a way that rejoins that community, restores a social equity and vibrancy to that community, and continues to, in better ways, facilitate the same or better throughput of traffic. So we have some very, very unique opportunities for me. We don't always agree on this committee, but we share a lot of goals, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on. We have a proven track record of achieving results. And now we're inviting all of our House colleagues to join as we demonstrate to the American people that their government is still capable of working together, taking responsible action to complete critical projects, create good paying jobs, bolster U.S. industries, save lives, preserve affordable access to transportation and water infrastructure, protect our natural resources, make smart investments, 21st century investments to mitigate and adapt to climate change. And thanks to all the members today who are going to come before the committee. With that, I recognize the ranking member, Sam Graves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the hearing as well, and I look forward to hearing from